So my name's Spiro Curry. I'm with the marketing team at EA Blackbox, and we're located in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, and we're currently working on Need for Speed The Run. I think what we wanted to do with this Need for Speed game is we really wanted to make it feel like a Hollywood action blockbuster movie. So we decided to implement a storyline. Now, you know, obviously there's some talk about the out-of-car experience in the game. I can let you know the out-of-car stuff is less than 10%, but the story mode actually just enhances the pressure that's on you to complete this race. So other racing games in the past has just kind of been, okay, finish in first, finish in first, finish in first. In this game, every city presents a new challenge. You race a different amount of people along the way, and there's a huge prize waiting for you at the end. So the storyline actually puts more pressure on you as a driver to compete at your highest level, which is why we chose to implement it into this game. Need for Speed has been around since 1994. Need for Speed has been around for a long time. Part of the reason we've been around for so long is we're constantly changing the way that we do things to adapt to what we think is going to be popular at the time. So, you know, along the way, if we didn't take a risk, we wouldn't have Hot Pursuit, we wouldn't have Most Wanted, we wouldn't have Shift. So, you know, we constantly are looking at new ways to reinvent the Need for Speed franchise. I mean, it's in a few years, it's going to be 20 years that this game has been around. It's been around for a long time. So we felt it was the right time. We tried to implement a new, you know, story mode based driving game to try and bring some new fans to Need for Speed and try and get the old fans re-energized in the franchise. You start in San Francisco and it goes to New York. Every city that you go to presents a new challenge. So for example, there might be one level where you have to beat 10 drivers and complete the race. Next thing you know, you're in 180th place. So as you complete these levels, you have to complete the task to move on. Some levels, you'll have to beat 10 people. Some you'll have to be 8. Some levels, it's a timed challenge. So there's 6 checkpoints and you have to hit each one under a certain amount of time. And some levels, you only race one person. I mean, every level presents a different challenge. And that challenge is based on the storyline of the game. So when you get to certain areas, maybe you tried to take a shortcut and somebody followed you, so you're just racing against one other person. But in Chicago, where it's like so much traffic, maybe you have to beat 10 people and the cops are chasing you, so you gotta get rid of the cops. So every city presents a new challenge and you have to finish that goal to move on to the next one. I mean, our development team is fantastic, and yeah, it was challenging at first. What we actually did is we had a team literally drive across the country to see what it was like, to get a feel for the environment. Then what we did is we did a lot of research online to make sure that the cities that we chose presented something unique. We didn't just choose like Las Vegas because it's Las Vegas, or you know, Colorado because it's Colorado. We chose these places because they have something unique to offer. So when you get to them, you feel like you're in that city, and it presents a new and unique environment and challenge. So, you know, when we started this process, we knew it was a massive undertaking. One of the reasons we were able to be so successful is the implementation of the Frostbite 2 engine. Having the availability of Frostbite 2 really allowed us to build these cities to the level that they're going to be when the game comes out. So for example, the demo, which we're showing here at the EA Showcase in Mexico, and it's the same demo that's going to be available to download. There's 2 levels. One is called Independence Pass, which is the 2nd level in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado, and then you've got another one which takes place in the desert plains of Nevada. So as you can see behind me, there's some different levels going on. The first level in this demo is a 10 racer challenge. So what you need to do is you need to beat 10 racers and complete the race. Any time it takes you doesn't matter, as long as you beat those 10 racers and complete it. The reason you're beating 10 racers is because at that point in the race, those are the guys that are the closest to you. So you need to beat them and move on. The other level in this game is called Independence Pass, which is in the Rocky Mountains of Colorado. As I mentioned earlier, there's going to be spots where you take a shortcut. This is one of those spots. So Jack, our main character, tried to take a shortcut, but he got there and the actual road was closed because they're blasting for avalanches and trying to get rid of some hazards. So that's what we call a boss battle in this game. So there's one other car that you're against. It's just you against this car, and all you need to do is beat that car and complete the challenge. The reason that it's not as easy as it sounds is there's snow falling, there's avalanches, there's boulders coming, the road is covered in ice, so the environment makes it just as difficult as having to beat 20 people. So in those kind of levels, we have you race against one person. I think the comparison that we've heard the most is probably Hot Pursuit. Hot Pursuit is a similar, you know, you're trying to get away from the cops, you're trying to run and you're driving through different areas and environments to get away. So that's a slight comparison. Now, Hot Pursuit is a little arcadey when it comes to the gameplay. We have a mix of arcade and simulation, but again, because of all the chase elements and because of the pressure on the driver, I think that's probably the game that you can compare it to the most.